can't hold on to them. I'll shake them off, probably. So, hello. Axel, Pawlik, RIPE NCC, again. Not that many languages that are useful in this region, a bit of Dutch and a bit of German, but I'll do this in English. The update on the RIPE NCC. What are we, why are we here, and what are we doing? And what answers do you have, please? So, we are the Secretariat for the RIPE community. RIPE is the RIPE Network Coordination Center. We were set up very early in the 90s as the Secretariat for the community in Europe at the time that was interested in running bits of this internet thing when it was really new. So coffee and cookies at the meetings was maybe our primary task at the time. That has changed, of course. We got used to that and that worked really well. But then we had this internet thing exploding fairly rapidly throughout at least sort of the research community, universities and the like, and a couple of commercial entities. And somebody was needed to take the load of the one man in America who was giving out addresses. So it was a proposal to have this thing that was already there, this RIPE NCC thing, to take up this task. And we have done that and we are doing this still. IP numbering resources, basically distribution, according to community policies. We do maintain the RIPE database. That also started as a tiny thing where people got their names in and their phone numbers in case something went wrong with the network so they could be found. Still doing this, maintaining the software and making sure that we follow any policies and help the community follow the policies as well as to what goes in there and that it should be updated regularly and the like. We have also a very long tradition from the early days to do measurements of this internet thing. So, and collecting statistics. You might, some of you, the graybeards may remember the host count that happened once upon a time. That has significantly developed since. So statistics, RIPE-Stat is sort of the service name for that. RIPE Atlas for the measuring network around the globe, and other tools, services, anything basically that you think is useful to your business and want us to implement and run. So speaking about you, that's the community, but also of course the RIPE NCC members, as we are a membership association under Dutch law with over 20,000 members by now. We are funded by our members. That's a really special and really wonderful thing. We are fully autonomous in our financials and we don't have to do what anybody else says. We do what our members tell us to do, as far as they can agree, of course. As part of our genetic setup, our DNA, we are, or we like ourselves, think of ourselves as being open, transparent, neutral, and impartial. So this is the place, this is the platform that you can do things on where you might be in competition with each other, but we as RIPE NCC are neutral and happy to be of service. Right, I indicated that there was a little bit of growth going on over the last 25 years or so. Over the last year, we've seen the craziest growth that we've ever seen so far. 4,000 additional member accounts. We gave out more than 4,500/22s and nearly 2,500 IPv6 allocations. That's nice. We do all sorts of events. We do these RIPE NCC days. We do, of course, the big RIPE meetings, regional meetings, smaller national places. We do lunches and trainings and all those things. So we have over 2,000 attendees over the course of the past year on those events. It's always nice to meet people face to face so that we can exchange opinions and understand what you want from us. Training courses, we've done nearly 100 in 55 locations. That's not bad either. We've done more than 2,500 assisted registry checks, and 83 of them during RIPE meetings where people are coming. So you're also welcome, as Max said, to step into the back corner there and get yours done. Basically helping people to keep their data up to date in the database, in the registry. That's fairly important, as we see lots of weird things happening these days as well. We have more than 10,000 active RIPE Atlas probes. If you have any and it's still sitting on your desk and you want to plug it in at some point, please do so. It's helpful. And we have more than 500 by now RIPE Atlas anchors, so bigger pro-black things that help us accumulate the data. Right. Growth. As I said, growth is fairly strong. We have seen nearly 20%, 19% growth so far in this year, with like 4,000 new accounts, and we have nearly 17,000 new accounts activated since we reached the last /8 in, when was it, 2012, it's also long ago. So yeah, that is massive. This is a bit from the region. The largest membership count in the Ukraine there. Won't go through all the details, but it's up and growing still, which is a lovely thing. So, where are we and what's going to happen with all this growth and with the numbers? Currently, as we are about to run out of IPv4 addresses, have I said that before over the last 10 years? But it's really happening, it's really, really happening now. So we see quite an influx of applications for address space. So yeah, membership keeps on growing. It's a massive workload at home in the office. Of course, looking forward, what is going to happen next year when we have run out of IPv4? We are preparing, and of course, it's a little bit finger in the wind. We are preparing for a significant drop in membership growth. I don't think that we will see a drop in actual absolute membership numbers. The internet is growing, the industry is still growing, but we don't see this, we will not see this massive growth as we are currently experiencing. Of course, you can trade your IP addresses. The transfer market is there. It is very, very active. So the main priority again, and still, and it will continue to remain our main priority, is to have a correct and up-to-date RIPE registry. Right, existing infrastructure, as we are running a couple of fairly important services, for instance, KRoot and RPKI and the like. So we need to ensure that that infrastructure and the related processes are stable and robust, so that we can handle all challenges that might be coming beyond the growth as well. And of course, we are for a couple of years and still looking for opportunities to streamline the way we do our work, to introduce efficiencies and to make sure that we keep our procedures as simple yet effective as they can be. Good. I might have mentioned that before run out. Yeah, it's down. By now, we think the tool will run out before the end of this year. We have to make sure that this is done efficiently and fairly and also transparently, so everybody knows what's going on and which processes, which policies are being used. We are have already made changes to our software to support all this. And of course, new challenges. Yes, so many applications are coming in, they exceed for now what we can actively process per day for a while. So there are waiting lists that are going to be filled. And yeah, we need to keep you all informed about these kinds of things so that there are no surprises. Good. So statistics are important so that you know what's going on. Of course, for a long time we already know, and we've said that RIPE NCC members can receive one final allocation per LIR of IPv4 space, as long as we still have addresses remaining. So this is certainly coming to an end these weeks. So once a member has received its final allocation, that's it. No more IPv4 addresses from the RIPE NCC. Go to the transfer market if you need more. After run out, what's going to happen? After we run out, allocation size will change from 22 to /24. You will think like, what? But we have run out. We might get stuff back, where we see, and there are scraps and things that occasionally we find that come back. So we would then allocate from that. There are possibly returned IPv4 addresses that will go to a new waiting list then, and only LIRs only member accounts that have never received an IPv4 allocation from the NCC at all will be eligible to join that waiting list then. All new requests will be added to the waiting list to receive /24 on a first come, first served basis. Pretty straightforward. And yeah, like I said, we will probably continue to recover little bits and pieces of v4 address space as we go into the future. Anya is there and she is working registration services. She has all the finer details of the processes and the things that are going on that are beyond my capacity to talk about. She'll do that later tomorrow, towards the end of the day. Of course, if you have any questions, you can go directly to her. So, speaking towards the end of 2019, what's going to happen next year in 2020? We have strategic focus. We do talk to our board regularly about these things, and there shouldn't be any rapid and surprising changes here. You might have seen this before, similar things before in the last activity plan for this year. So, strategic focus next year, increase efficiency and agility to handle emerging challenges as they emerge. Ensure the resilient infrastructure, maintain and further improve registry accuracy. Like I said, that's the highest priority that we are operating on. Increase accountability to our members and to the community, and also due diligence. Provide reliable data based on all the data sets that we have to continue to be a neutral source of information on all sorts of internet resources. And of course, to develop engagement activities such as these so that we are in a tight loop with our members and our community, and that we are well informed of each other. Mentioning the activity plan and budget, we have this wonderful document that comes out every year based on what we heard from you and what we thought might be useful and what our board tells us that should go into this. So we have just sent that out, I think, last week. So ahead of the general meeting that will happen in 3 weeks. We have a budget increase there of 4% for next year against 2019. An increased investment there will be for training, Rijpsstad, RPKI, and for legal on a fairly high level here. Again, efficiencies, innovation of existing services, making them better and more tailored to your needs. And of course, that after IPv4 run out. So that's a big year of change for us this year and next year. The plan and the budget are available online, and of course we are looking forward to discussing them with you on the way to the general meeting and at the general meeting. Right, speaking about that, that'll happen in October, typically on the Wednesday of the RIPE meetings. We will discuss the activity plan and the budget, like I mentioned. We will also talk about and have a vote on the redistribution of the surplus the RIPE NCC made this year, or will have made by the end of the year. And of course there will be reports from the executive board and from the NCC management. So if you're a member, I can only invite you to register to the general meeting. We have, in case you don't come to Rotterdam, we have remote participation and remote voting also for a couple of years quite successfully. So please take your rights to take part and shape what we are going to do next year. Right, and how do we know, apart from meeting you face-to-face, what you want us to do and where we are with our services? Are they recognized? Are they valued, or where should we improve? We do a regular RIPE NCC survey every 3 years, so this year was time again that we did this, and we did. And of course also at the Rotterdam meeting we will go into some more detail, but here's a sneak preview, more or less. This is the last survey, or was the last survey before IPv4 exhaustion. It was also for the first time available in 8 languages. That's something new. We have received more than 5,500 responses. That's pretty nice. With more than 4,000 fully completed. So thank you if you have done this, if you have participated in this. Much appreciated. 88% of the responses came from our members. So you notice it's not the RIPE NCC membership survey, it's the RIPE NCC survey. It's open to the community and and basically the internet ecosystem. So 88% from our members, that's cool. And yeah, like I said, the full results will be announced at the RIPE meeting, the next RIPE meeting. We have had 79 respondents from, respondents is the word, right? From the Ukraine, that's nice, thank you. 72 of them were members, RIPE NCC members, that's very nice. So it's 2% of our members from here, could be more, of course. If you know others who haven't filled it in, next time please do. Overall, we are quite happy to see that the average related quality, the average rated quality of service is 93%. That's excellent and good, happy with that. And 76% rated value for money, excellent or good, okay, that could be better, should be better of course, and we are trying to work on that as well. Right, satisfaction. Yeah, generally it's on the slides to the right, that is lovely. Of course there are also people who are dissatisfied, not quite so happy or so we want to work on that as well. And again, at the RIPE meeting, we'll go into the details and tell you what focal points we see there, what actions should be taken. Then, of course, as we've done before, we'll report on having taken those actions, what we're doing with those. One thing that we find actually quite annoying is that we have lots of services, like I mentioned before, and the prime thing that people are seeing is, of course, IPv4, IPv6, and ASNs. We come to the RIPE NCC to get our numbers, and oh, you do something else, what might that be? So you see that on this slide, the bars are all far further to the left, sort of, I haven't heard about this, I don't know, I rarely use it, I don't know what it is. So that is something that we take as a strong clue. This is something that we need to improve in our communications, in making sure that community knows what we are doing and how it can be useful for you. Right. Services. Atlas. The measuring network. For a while we have heard those probes are cute, but we need to get to them. Don't you have a software solution? Yes, we have them. The anchors are now available in VM form, and we are looking at software probes as well. And we'll talk about that again in a couple of weeks' time. RIPE Atlas tools and data. We are looking at we are very good at collecting data. We are working constantly in making that accessible and in a way that is useful to you. So again, we need to understand what it is that you need from us there in terms of visualizations and tools to make use of the data. Again, we still aim to cover as many autonomous systems as possible around the world. You see, coverage roughly is, yeah, of course, it's sort of them there in Europe, that's where we are, and a little bit sparse, quite more sparse around the world. So, yeah, please help us in getting to all the ASNs. That would be really cool if we had them one day. One thing that I'm personally quite excited about is our certified professionals service, the new one. We are doing, as you know, we're doing trainings, we do online trainings, we do webinars, we do face-to-face trainings. But what we really haven't done yet is to have the results of these trainings, the exams of those trainings, nailed to individuals in a clear and stable way. So this is something that we are preparing to do now, verifying the identity of the candidate taking the exam. And I was thinking, how is this going to be? But our training folk had, of course, already talked to many people around the world, also within the community. Would this something that is useful? But yeah, it's strong. Yes, this is a thing we should be doing. So we do those exams, skill-based questions there, theory and exercises, and we'll have remotely proctoring. So remote proctoring, so people will use your webcam and will be asking to see your passport and identify you and make sure there's nobody else in the room, and it'll be interesting. So that's something that is in line to your needs as far as we understand, and we are very much looking forward to getting this out of the door and into production service. So we have a couple of layers there, certified professionals for the right database as associate, and then we do analyst, expert levels as well, and they are rolling out slowly. We are starting, of course, with one thing. And yeah, we have actually a talk about this later on as well. Right, engagement outreach. I've been talking about how we want to talk to our members, how we want to find you and talk to you face to face and find ways to do this efficiently. So of course we do RIPE meetings and regional meetings and these things. We do member lunches when we have for instance, a training in a given city. We might as well ask all the members in the vicinity to come for lunch if they so want. Hey, it's a free lunch, and talk to us and again engage there. We do support for network operators group, national IGFs, any technical community events around the internet, face-to-face training courses, RIPE labs. We do community building there. We invite people who have something interesting to share in papers based on the data that we have or something that they have done, put it on RIPE labs and build a community around that. It's become quite active too. We do academic cooperation. We have hackathons. We do roundtable meetings with governments and regulators. Also important to see that those guys are part of the wider community, and they're coming in. They're very interested, of course, in what we are doing. So we've seen them come to RIPE meetings increasingly. Police force as well. That's very interesting. Of course, there are occasionally slightly diverging interests in why they are coming or why you are coming. That's interesting to see how the community develops over, or has developed over the last 30 years or so. Right, I mentioned RIPE labs, up-to-date statistics, weekly articles, and all the cool new stuff on the labs pages, you see that. And that's basically the end of my talk. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them. Otherwise, I'll be here for the 2 days. You can grab me in the breaks as well, or the social in the evening. Happy to be of help. Thank you.
Thank you, Axel. Коллеги, да, вот у нас есть 2 микрофона здесь впереди. К ним можно подойти и задать ваши вопросы. Только перед тем, как задаете вопрос.
So please you ask your questions and introduce yourselves before you ask them.